Hi everyone, in this session we will discuss the multiple choice questions from the chapter integrals. Question number 1, integral of x square into e to the power of x cube dx. So since we have x square into dx, we have to take one power more than this, that is x cube is equal to t. So on taking x cube is equal to t, we get 3x square dx is equal to dt, or x square dx is equal to dt by 3. So here we could observe x square and dx, and this x square and dx can be replaced with dt by 3. So we get this as the integrand x square into dx is replaced by dt by 3 and e power x cube is replaced by e to the power of t. So we get the integrand as e power t into dt by 3, which is 1/3 into integral of e power t is e power t plus c, which is 1/3 of e to the power of, in place of t we write x cube plus c. So the answer is 1/3 e power x cube plus c, which is option A. So option A is the right choice. Question number 2, integral of e to the power of x times 1 plus x by cos square into x e power x, cos square of x e power x dx is equal to. So since we have cos square of x e power x, we put x e power x as t. So put x e to the power of x is equal to t, and the derivative of x e power x becomes x into e power x plus e power x into derivative of x is 1 whole dx equal to dt. Or on taking e power x common, we get e power x times x plus 1 dx is equal to dt. So the numerator we could observe it's e power x into 1 plus x dx. So this whole thing into dx can be replaced by dt. So we get this as dt divided by cos square x e power x can be written as cos square t, that is integral of secant square t dt, and integral of secant square t is tan t. So it's tan t plus constant of integration c, that is tan of t is given by x e power x, x e power x plus constant of integration c. So the right answer is option A. Option A is the right choice. Number 3, integral of e power x times cos x minus sin x. So this is based on the simple identity integral of e power x times the function f of x plus its derivative dx is e power x into f of x plus c. So we should be able to identify what should be the function and what is its derivative. So in this problem we could observe that the derivative of cos x is minus sin x. So if we take f of x as cos x, then f dash of x will be minus sin x. So this can be written as e power x times cos x plus minus sin x dx. So if cos x is f of x, then f dash of x is minus sin x. So this will be e power x into f of x, that is cos x plus constant of integration c. So the right option is option A. Option A is the right choice. Question number 4, integral dx by sin square x cos square x dx. So here let us write the numerator 1 dx. So 1 in the numerator can be written as cos square x plus sin square x divided by sin square x cos square x. So now we can split the fraction cos square x by sin square x cos square x plus sin square x by sin square x cos square x. Now let us try to simplify this. Cos square x gets cancelled here and sin square x gets cancelled. So we get this as integral of 1 by sin square x, that is cosecant square x, plus 1 by cos square x is secant square x dx. So integral cosecant square x is minus cot x plus integral of secant square x is tan x plus c. So, the right option is tan x minus cot x plus c. Tan x minus cot x plus c is option C. So, option C is the right choice. Question number 5. If integral 3 e power x minus 5 e power minus x divided by 4 e power x plus 5 e power minus x dx is ax plus b log mod 4 e power x plus 5 e power minus x plus c, then we have to find the values of this a and b. So, this is very simple. We write numerator 3 e power x minus 5 e power minus x as a into the denominator, that is 4 e power x plus 5 e power minus x plus b into derivative of denominator, that is d by dx of 4 e power x plus 5 e power minus x. So, we get this as a times 4 e power x plus 5 e power minus x plus b times derivative of 4 e power x is 4 e power x and derivative of e power minus x is minus e power minus x. So, you get minus 5 e power minus x. So, let us compare the coefficients. So, we get this as 3 is equal to 4a plus 4b implies a plus b is equal to 3 by 4, and comparing the coefficients of e power minus x, minus 5 is equal to 5a and minus 5b. This implies a minus b is equal to minus 1. So, adding these two equations we get 2a equal to 3 by 4 minus 1. So, LCM is 4, we get 3 minus 4 is minus 1 by 4, or a is equal to minus 1 by 8. A is equal to minus 1 by 8. Now, let us find what is b. So, we can get b value by substituting in any one of the equation. So, b is equal to 3 by 4 minus a, that is 3 by 4 minus or minus, so plus 1 by 8. So, LCM is 8. So, 6 plus 1 is 7 by 8. So, the value of b is 7 by 8. So, this integral of 3 e power x, 3 e to the power of x minus 5 e power minus x by 4 e power x plus 5 e power minus x dx can be written as, now we have found the values of a and b. So, we write minus 1 by 8 times the denominator, that is 4 e power x plus 5 e power minus x plus 7 by 8 times 4 the derivative of this, that is 4 e power x minus 5 e power minus x divided by 4 e power x plus 5 e power minus x dx. So, when we split the fraction we get minus 1 by 8 into 1 plus dx plus 7 by 8 times integral of 4 e power x minus 5 e power minus x divided by 4 e power x plus 5 e power minus x dx. So, which is equal to minus 1 by 8 x plus 7 by 8 log mod 4 e power x plus 5 e power minus x plus constant of integration c. So, according to the problem we need ax. So, in place of capital small a we have minus 1 by 8. So, the value of a we got it as minus 1 by 8, and here we could observe that we got b log mod 4 e power x plus 5 e power minus x. So, the value of b which we obtained is 7 by 8. So, b equal to 7 by 8. So, a equal to minus 1 by 8, b equal to 7 by 8. So, option a equal to minus 1 by 8 and b equal to 7 by 8 is option A. So, option A is the right choice. Question number 6. Integral of cos 2x minus cos 2 theta divided by cos x minus cos theta. So, if you are able to write cos 2x and cos 2 theta in terms of cos square x and cos square theta, we can do some simplification. Let us see how to do this. So, we write numerator cos 2x as 2 cos square x minus 1 minus, we can write cos 2 theta as 2 cos square theta minus 1 divided by cos x minus cos theta dx. So, this on simplification we get 2 cos square x minus 1 minus 2 cos square theta minus into minus is plus 1 divided by cos x minus cos theta dx. So, plus 1 and minus 1 gets cancelled and we get this as integral of 2 times cos square x minus cos square theta divided by cos x minus cos theta dx. Now, this is in the form of a square minus b square. So, cos square x minus cos square theta can be written as 2 times cos x plus cos theta into cos x minus cos theta divided by cos x minus cos theta into dx. So, cos x minus cos theta gets cancelled. So, 2 is a constant, we write it out into integral of cos x plus cos theta dx, and integral of cos x is sin x. So, 2 sin x plus 2 cos theta is a constant. So, 2 cos theta into x plus constant of integration c. So, the right answer is 2 sin x plus 2 cos theta into x plus c. 2, so 2 times sin x plus 2 cos theta into x. So, option A is the right choice. 2 sin x plus 2 cos theta into x. So, if you take 2 common, we get 2 times sin x plus x cos theta plus c. So, the right option is option A, 2 times sin x plus x cos theta plus c. Question number 7. Integral of dx by sin x minus a into sin x minus b is equal to. So, whenever we have product of two sine functions like this or two cos functions, what we have to do is we have to multiply and divide with sine of the difference of these two angles. So, we write this as integral of dx by sin x minus a into sin x minus b into sine of x minus a minus x minus b, the difference of the two angles, sine of x minus a minus x minus b, and this x minus a minus x minus b is nothing but x minus a minus x plus b, which is b minus a. So, the simplification of x minus a minus x minus b is nothing but b minus a, which is a constant. So, the denominator which we have sine of x minus a minus x minus b, we write it as 1 by sine b minus a, and the numerator sine of x minus a minus x minus b which we have, we will expand it using the formula sine of a minus b. So, sine of a minus b form, so we write it as sine x minus a cos x minus b, then minus cos x minus a into sin x minus b, whole thing divided by sin x minus a into sin x minus b dx. So, this is equal to 1 by sin b minus a into integral of, when we split the fraction, sin x minus a gets cancelled, cos x minus b by sin is cot of x minus b. Then we have minus cos x minus a, sin x minus b gets cancelled, cos x minus a by sin x minus a is cot x minus a dx. So, we get this as 1 by sin of b minus a, integral of cot x minus b is log mod sin x minus b minus log mod sin x minus a plus constant of integration c. So, this is equal to 1 by sin of b minus a log mod, now this is in the form of log m minus log n, which is log of m by n. So, we get sin x minus b divided by sin of x minus a plus constant of integration c. So, the right option is 1 by sin b minus a, that is cosecant b minus a log mod sin x minus b by x minus a. So, option C is the right choice. So, we can write this as cosecant of b minus a log mod sin of x minus b by sin of x minus a plus constant of integration c. So, option C is the right choice. Question number 8. Integral of tan inverse root x dx is equal to. Since we have only one function, so we treat the second function as 1 and we apply integration by parts. So, integral of tan inverse root x into the second function, we take it as 1 dx and we apply integration by parts. So, this is equal to tan inverse root x into integral of 1 dx minus integral of derivative of tan inverse root x is 1 by 1 plus root x whole square is x into derivative of root x is 1 by 2 root x into integral 1 is x dx. So, which is equal to tan inverse of root x into x minus integral of x by 1 plus x into 2 root x dx. So, we have to evaluate this integral of x by 1 plus x into 2 root x. So, we try to write numerator in terms of denominator. So, we write it as tan inverse root x into x minus, we add 1 and subtract 1 in the numerator. So, we get x plus 1 minus 1 by 1 plus x into 2 root x dx. So, this can be written as tan inverse of root x into x minus integral of x plus 1 by this will be 1 by 2 root x minus 1 by 2 root x into 1 plus x dx. So, which is equal to tan inverse root x into x minus integral of 1 by 2 root x dx minus into minus plus integral of 1 by 2 root x into 1 plus x dx. So, this can be written as tan inverse root x into x minus half into integral of 1 by root x is same as x to the power of minus half. So, it is minus half plus 1 by minus half plus 1 plus here 1 by 2 root x into 1 plus x, by putting root x as t, we get 1 by 2 root x dx as dt. So, we get this as 1 by 1 plus t square dt. So, we get this as tan inverse root x into x minus half, and here you have minus half plus 1. So, it is half. So, we get minus root x plus 1 by 1 plus t square is tan inverse of t plus constant of integration c. This is equal to tan inverse of root x into x minus root x plus tan inverse of root x plus constant of integration c. So, taking tan inverse root x common, we get x plus 1 into tan inverse root x minus root x plus constant of integration c. So, the right option is x plus 1 tan inverse root x minus root x plus c. So, option A is the right choice. So, option A becomes the right choice. 9. Integral of e power x times 1 minus x by 1 plus x square whole square. So, let us try to simplify this integrand. We get this as integral of e to the power of x times 1 minus x whole square can be written as 1 plus x square minus 2x divided by 1 plus x square whole square dx. So, we can further simplify this and write it as e power x times 1 plus x square by 1 plus x square whole square will be 1 by 1 plus x square, and plus we can write this as minus 2x by 1 plus x square whole square dx. So, here if we observe, if this is resembling the identity of integral of e power x times f of x plus f dash of x dx, then this will be equal to e to the power of x into f of x plus c. So, let us see whether we can write in this form. So, in this, if we write 1 by 1 plus x square as f of x, so if we choose f of x as 1 by 1 plus x square, then f dash of x will be derivative of 1 by 1 plus x square will be minus 1 by 1 plus x square whole square into derivative of 1 plus x square is 0 plus 2x, that is minus 2x by 1 plus x square whole square, which is exactly the f dash of x which we find in this term 1 by 1 plus x square plus minus 2x by 1 plus x square whole square, which is same as this. So, this integrand is in the form of e power x times f of x plus f dash of x. So, this can be written as e power x into f of x becomes 1 by 1 plus x square plus constant of integration c. So, the right option is e power x by 1 plus x square. So, option A is the right choice. Number 10. Integral sin to the power of 6x by cos to the power of 8x dx. So, we can write this as integral of sin power 6x divided by, we can write cos power 8 as cos to the power of 6x into cos squared x dx. So, sin power 6 by cos power 6 becomes tan to the power of 6x, and 1 by cos square x becomes secant square x dx. So, on putting tan x equal to t, we get derivative of tan x is secant square x dx equal to dt. So, the integrand is written as tan power 6 x is t to the power of 6 dt, which is t to the power of 7 by 7 plus constant of integration c. So, the answer will be tan to the power of 7x by 7 plus constant of integration c. So, option C is the right choice. So, tan power 7x by 7 plus constant of integration c. So, option C is the correct answer. Question number 11. If integral of x cube by 1 plus x square dx is a into 1 plus x square whole power 3 by 2 plus b into root over 1 plus x square plus c, then we have to find the values of a and b. So, let us write the numerator as x square into x dx divided by divided by square root of 1 plus x square. So we put 1 plus x square as t square so as to eliminate the root. So we get 2x dx equal to 2t dt. So 2 gets cancelled. Now this x dx can be replaced with t dt, and we can simplify this as, in place of x square we can write t square minus 1, and x dx is replaced by t dt divided by root over t square is t. So t and t gets cancelled. So we get this result as integral t square minus 1 dt. Integral of t square is t cube by 3 minus integral 1 is t plus constant of integration c. So t is nothing but root 1 plus x square, root 1 plus x square whole cube divided by 3 minus root 1 plus x square plus constant of integration c. So you can write this as 1 by 3 into 1 plus x square whole to the power of 3 by 2 minus square root of 1 plus x square plus constant of integration c. Now let us see what is asked here. We have a into 1 plus x square whole power 3 by 2. So you have a value as 1 by 3, and here we have plus b into root 1 plus x square. So the value of b should be equal to minus 1. A equal to 1 by 3, b equal to minus 1. So the option D is the correct choice. A equal to minus 1 by 3, sorry, A equal to 1 by 3, B equal to minus 1. So option D is the correct choice. Question number 12. The integral of x to the power of 9 by 4x square plus 1 whole to the power of 6. So let us try to simplify the integrand first. So we get this as integral of x to the power of 9 divided by, here if we take x square common, we get 4 plus 1 by x square whole to the power of 6 dx, which is integral of x to the power of 9 dx divided by x to the power of 12 into 4 plus 1 by x square whole to the power of 6, or we can write this as x power 9 by x power 12 is x to the power of minus 3 dx divided by 4 plus 1 by x square whole to the power of 6. So let's put 4 plus 1 by x square as t. So we get this, derivative of 4 is 0, and x to the power of minus 2 will be minus 2 x to the power of minus 3 dx equal to dt. So the numerator will be x power minus 3 dx can be written as dt by minus 2. So we get dt by minus 2 divided by t to the power of 6, that is negative 1 by 2 into integral of 1 by t to the power of 6 dt. So this can be simplified as minus half into t to the power of minus 6 plus 1 by minus 5 plus constant of integration c. So this is equal to 1 by 10 t to the power of minus 5 plus constant of integration c, that is 1 by 10 into t is nothing but 4 plus 1 by x square, 4 plus 1 by x square whole to the power of minus 5 plus constant of integration c. So 1 by 10 into 4 plus 1 by x square whole power minus 5 is option D. So option D is the correct choice. Number 13, integral 0 to pi by 8 tan square 2x dx. So there is no direct formula to evaluate tan square 2x. So we write tan square 2x in terms of secant square 2x. So we know that secant square theta minus tan square theta is equal to 1, which implies tan square theta can be written as secant square theta minus 1. So here we can write this as 0 to pi by 8. So we write tan square theta as secant square theta minus 1, that is secant squared 2x minus 1 dx. So integral secant square 2x is same as tan 2x divided by coefficient of x, that is 2, minus integral of 1 is x. We substitute the upper limit and lower limit, pi by 8 and 0. So on substituting the upper limit, we get tan 2 into pi by 8 is pi by 4 by 2 minus pi by 8, and on substituting the lower limit, tan 0 is 0 minus 0. So we get tan pi by 4 is 1, so 1 by 2 minus pi by 8. So the right option among this is, if we take LCM as 8, we get 4 minus pi by 8. 4 minus pi by 8 is option A. So option A is the right choice. Number 14. Integral a plus c to b plus c f of x dx is equal to. We know the identity integral a plus c to b plus c f of x dx is equal to integral a to b f of x plus c. So this is a direct question. So integral a plus c to b plus c f of x dx is equal to integral a to b f of x plus c dx. So let us try to prove this. So consider integral of a to b f of x plus c dx. Okay. So we will try to prove this is equal to the integral a plus c to b plus c f of x dx. So let us consider integral a to b f of x plus c dx. Let us put x plus c is equal to t, x plus c equal to t. So we get dx equal to dt. So we write f of, in place of x plus c we write t, and in place of dx we write dt. Now let us see the limits. When x is equal to a, t equal to x plus c, that is a plus c, and when x is equal to b, t equal to b plus c. So the lower limit becomes a plus c and the upper limit becomes b plus c. So we got this integrand f of x plus c as f of t dt, and the limits have changed from a to b to a plus c to b plus c. And we have already seen the first property, that integral of a to b f of x dx will be same as integral a to b f of y dy. So which is the first property in the properties of definite integrals. There we have seen that as long as the lower limit and upper limit are same and the functionality is same, it is independent of the variable. So we can write this as integral a plus c to b plus c f of x dx. Still we get the same result. It is independent of the variables. In place of t we can write t x, in place of t we can write x, and the lower limit and upper limit will be a plus c and b plus c f of x dx, based upon the property that integral a to b f of x dx is integral a to b f of y dy. So we could prove that integral a to b f of x plus c dx is same as integral a plus c to b plus c f of x dx. So the right option is option B. Question number 15. If f and g are continuous in closed interval 0, 1, satisfying f of x is equal to f of a minus x and g of x plus g of a minus x is equal to a, then integral 0 to a f of x into g of x dx is equal to. So let us write down integral 0 to a f of x into g of x dx. So applying the property of integrals, we can write this as In place of x we can write f of a minus x into g of a minus x dx. So, this is equal to integral 0 to a f of a minus x is given to be equal to f of x. So, from the condition given, f of x and f of a minus x are the same. So, we make use of this condition and we write in place of f of a minus x f of x, and g of a minus x, g of a minus x can be written from this as a minus g of x, a minus g of x dx. So, this can be further written as integral 0 to a f of x into a minus integral 0 to a f of x into g of x dx. And if we name this integral as say I, so I is equal to this or I is equal to this. Now, why we have to write I is because we could see that the question has come again. So, we will get I is equal to integral 0 to a is a constant into f of x dx minus integral 0 to f of x g of x dx nothing but I, or we get 2I equal to a into integral 0 to a f of x dx, or I is equal to a by 2 times integral 0 to a f of x dx. So, the right option is a by 2 into integral 0 to a f of x dx. So, option B is the correct answer, a by 2 0 to a f of x dx. Question number 16, integral minus 1 to 1 x cube plus mod x plus 1 by x square plus 2 mod x plus 1 dx is equal to. So, whenever we have the form integral minus a to a f of x, we have to check whether this function is even function or odd function, and we should also be able to segregate the part of the function which gives you the odd function and the part of the function which gives us the even function. So, we write this as integral minus 1 to 1 x cube by x square plus 2 mod x plus 1 plus integral minus 1 to 1 modulus of x plus 1 by x square plus 2 mod x plus 1 dx. Now, if you observe this function, the first function, let us say this is equal to f of x. F of x is equal to x cube by x square plus 2 mod x plus 1, and f of minus x will be minus x whole cube, that is minus x cube by x square. So, minus x whole square is also x square plus 2 into modulus of minus x is 2 mod x plus 1, which is minus f of x, which means f is odd function. So, this becomes 0 because we know the integral minus a to a f of x dx equal to 0 if f is even, So, we got this part to be 0. Now, let us consider this function I. So, I is equal to integral minus 1 to 1 modulus of x plus 1 by x square plus 2 mod x plus 1 dx. Now, we have to evaluate only this part of the integrand because we got the first part of the integrand to be 0. So, we have to only consider this part. So, this is equal to integral of minus 1 to 1 modulus of x plus 1 by, we can write x square plus 2 mod x plus 1 as mod x plus 1 whole square dx. So if we consider this as a function g of x is equal to modulus of x plus 1 by modulus of x plus 1 ka whole square, then this is equal to g of minus x is equal to modulus of minus x plus 1 by modulus of minus x plus 1 whole square, which is again equal to g of x, because modulus of minus x is again modulus of x plus 1 by modulus of x plus 1 whole square. So we are getting the same function, which means g is even. G of x is an even function. Therefore, this can be written as 2 times 0 to 1 modulus of x plus 1 by mod x plus 1 whole square dx. And here if you observe, since the function is from 0 to 1, mod x becomes x. So we can further write this as 0 to 1, 2 into integral 0 to 1 x plus 1 by x plus 1 whole square dx. So this will be 2 times integral 0 to 1. So one of the factor gets cancelled, we get 1 by x plus 1 dx, that is 2 times log mod x plus 1. So we substitute the upper limit and lower limit, and we get this as 2 times log 2 minus log 0 plus 1 is log 1, or we get this as 2 log 2. So the right option is 2 log 2. 2 log 2 is option B. So option B is the correct answer. Question number 17. Integral 0 to 1 e power t by 1 plus t dt equal to a. Then integral 0 to 1 e power t by 1 plus t whole square dt is equal to. So let us consider integral 0 to 1 e to the power of t into 1 by 1 plus t whole square dt. So we apply the integration by parts, writing it as e power t into integral of 1 by 1 plus t whole square minus integral of derivative of e power t is e power t into integral of 1 by 1 plus t whole square dt, whole thing into dt. So we get this as e power t into integral of 1 by 1 plus t is minus 1 by 1 plus t minus integral of e power t into integral of 1 by 1 plus t square is minus 1 by 1 plus t dt. So we got this as minus e power t by 1 plus t, minus into minus plus integral e power t into 1 by 1 plus t dt. Now let's find out the definite integral of this. So here if we observe, we are finding 0 to 1. So let's put the limits for this now. So we get this as 1 and 0, and this is also 0 to 1. So here also we put 0 to 1. Let's simplify this part. 1 and 0, 0 and 1, because here we know integral of e power t by 1 plus t dt as a. So this part becomes a, because already it is given integral 0 to 1 e power t by 1 plus t dt is a. Now we have to simplify this part. Substituting the upper limit, we get minus e power 1 by 1 plus 1 minus e power 0 by 1 plus 0 is 1. So we get this as minus e by 2, minus into minus plus, e power 0 is 1 plus a. So the right option is a plus 1 minus e by 2. A plus 1 minus e by 2 is option B. Option B, a plus 1 minus e by 2 is option B. So here we considered the function e power t into 1 by 1 plus t whole square. We applied integration by parts. Here we took the first function as e power t into and second function as 1 by 1 plus t ka whole square. So we got e power t into integral of 1 by 1 plus t whole square minus integral of derivative of e power t is e power t into integral of 1 by 1 plus t whole square. So we got e power t into integral of 1 by 1 plus t square 1 plus t whole square is nothing but minus 1 by 1 plus t. So we put the upper limit as 1, lower limit as 0, minus integral 0 to 1 e power t of minus 1 by 1 plus t. And this we have already seen how to evaluate the integral by substituting the upper limit and lower limit after we evaluate the indifferent integral. And the second part is already given to be a. Therefore, we got it as minus e by 2 plus 1 plus a, or a plus 1 minus e by 2. So option B is the correct answer. Question number 18. Integral minus 2 to 2 modulus of x cos pi x dx is equal to. So when we have the integral of the form minus a to a f of x dx, we can use the property of the definite integral. Integral minus a to a f of x dx is equal to 2 times integral 0 to a f of x if dx if f is an even function. F is an even function. So let us consider f of x is equal to modulus of x cos pi x. So on substituting minus x, we get modulus of minus x into cos pi into minus x, and we get the same as x cos pi x under modulus, because modulus of minus x will be still modulus of x, and cos of pi into minus x will be cos of minus pi x, which is again cos pi x. So this is equal to f of x. Therefore f is an even function. F is an even function. So we can write this as integral of minus 2 to 2 minus 2 to 2 modulus of x cos pi x dx can be written as 2 times integral 0 to 2 modulus of x cos pi x dx. Now we have to check in what intervals is this x cos pi x positive or negative, and accordingly we get the sign. So let us see where is the cos pi x positive or negative. So here we have to consider the x value from 0 to 2. So x lies between 0 and 2. So 0 less than x less than 2. So let us see in what interval is pi x lying in between. So let us multiply with pi into 0 less than pi x less than 2 pi, or pi x lies between 0 and 2 pi. Now let us check in what intervals is cos pi x positive or negative. So we already know that cos is positive in the first quadrant and the fourth quadrant, and it's negative in the second quadrant and third quadrant. So when pi x belongs to the first quadrant, that is 0 to pi by 2, we get modulus of x cos pi x to be, here x is positive because it is a value between 0 and pi by 2, or if pi x belongs to 0 to pi by 2, we can write x belongs to 0 to half, both mean the same. If pi x belongs to 0 to pi by 2, x belongs to 0 to half, so x is a positive value. And cos pi x, here pi x is an angle which is in the first quadrant, so cos pi x is positive, so positive into positive is positive, so we get this as x cos pi x. So this is the first case. Then when pi x belongs to the second and the third quadrant, that is pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, then that is x belongs to, which means x belongs to half to 3 by 2. Modulus of x cos pi x will be, x is a positive value because it is a value between half to 3 by 2, and cos pi x is a negative value. Plus into minus is minus, which means we get modulus of negative, which is minus of x cos pi x. And when pi x belongs to the fourth quadrant, that is 3 pi by 2 to 2 pi, that is x belongs to 3 by 2 comma 2. So modulus of x cos pi x, x is positive because it's a value between 3 by 2 and cos pi x is also positive, positive into positive is positive, so we get this as x cos pi x. So we could identify the intervals in which the function is positive or negative. Next, we are going to see the indefinite integral. Now once you know the splitting of the integrand into n number of integrands, now we have to see like what is the indefinite integral of x cos pi x. So let us consider integral of x cos pi x dx. So using the Euler rule, we get this as x into integral of cos pi x dx minus integral of derivative of x is 1 into integral of cos pi x will be sin pi x by pi dx. So we get this as x into integral of cos pi x is sin pi x by pi minus 1 by pi into integral of sin pi x becomes minus cos pi x by pi plus constant of integration c. So which is x sin pi x by pi plus cos pi x by pi squared plus c. So after evaluating the indefinite integral, now we are going to substitute and get this final answer by writing 2 times integral 0 to 2 modulus of x cos pi x dx is equal to 2 times integral 0 to half x cos pi x, because in the first quadrant it is positive, which means when x belongs to 0 to half, modulus of x cos pi x can be written as x cos pi x. So this is the first interval 0 to half, 0 is the lower limit, half is the upper limit for the first integral. Then second one is from half to 3 by 2. So plus half to 3 by 2, it is minus x cos pi x dx, and plus from 3 by 2 to 2, it is again x cos pi x dx. So we have to split this integral as 0 to half x cos pi x plus half to 3 by 2 minus x cos pi x plus 3 by 2 to 2 x cos pi x dx. So now we are going to do the further simplification by substituting the upper limit and lower limit in the indefinite integral obtained here. So we get x sin pi x by pi plus cos pi x by pi square half to 0 minus x sin pi x by pi plus cos pi x by pi square 3 by 2 to and half, and plus again we write x sin pi x by pi plus cos pi x by pi square, we write the limit as 2 and 3 by 2. So the whole thing multiplied by 2. So which is equal to 2 times, open the braces, and we substitute half into sin pi by 2 is 1 by pi plus cos pi by 2 becomes 0. So this is 0 minus again open the braces, 0 into something is 0 plus cos pi into 0 is cos 0 is 1 by pi square, then minus 3 by 2 sin 3 pi by 2 is minus 1 by pi then plus cos 3 pi by 2 is 0, 0, minus into minus is plus, plus substituting half we get half into sin pi by 2 is 1 by pi plus cos pi by 2 is 0, so plus 0, and then the third part is plus substituting 2 we get 2 sin 2 pi, that is 0, cos 2 pi is 1 by pi square, minus 3 by 2 if we substitute, x is 3 by 2, sin 3 pi by 2 is minus 1 by pi, and cos 3 pi by 2 becomes 0, so plus 0. So this on simplification we get this as 1 by 2 pi plus 0 minus 1 by pi square, then minus into minus plus 3 by 2 pi, then plus 1 by 2 pi plus 1 by pi square plus 3 by 2 pi. So minus 1 by pi square gets cancelled here, so we get 2 into 1 plus 3 4, 5, 5 plus 3 8, 8 by 2 pi. So 2 gets cancelled and we are left with 8 by pi. So the right answer will be 8 by pi. So option A is the correct answer. Question number 19. The integral value of 0 to pi by 2 tan x by 1 plus m square tan square x dx, where m is greater than 0. So let us try to evaluate this. Integral 0 to pi by 2, we write this tan x as sin x by cos x by 1 plus m square, tan square x is written as sin square x by cos square x dx. So this is equal to 0 to pi by 2, 0 to pi by 2. Let's take LCM in the denominator and we get sin x by cos x whole divided by cos square x plus m square sin square x divided by cos square x dx. So which is equal to, so one cos x term gets cancelled, we get 0 to pi by 2 sin x dx into this numerator, cos x goes to the numerator, we get cos x whole divided by cos square x plus m square sin square x, m square sin square x. So in the numerator, since we have sin x cos x, so if we take sin square x as t, we are going to get 2 sin x cos x dx as dt. So we can take sin square x as t. So for that reason, the cos square x term in the denominator is also written in terms of sin square x. So we write this as cos x sin x dx by 1 minus sin square x plus m square sin square x. On putting sin square x as t, we get 2 sin x cos x dx equal to dt. So this becomes half into integral of dt divided by 1 minus t plus m square t, that is 1 by 2 into dt by 1 plus m square minus 1 into t. Now let us see the limits. So when x equal to 0, t equal to sin square 0, that is 0. When x is equal to pi by 2, then t equal to sin square pi by 2, that is equal to 1. So the limits are 0 to 1, 0 to 1. So this becomes half into 1 by 1 plus m square minus 1 into t is in the form of 1 by 1 plus, this is a linear expression, so it's log mod 1 plus m square minus 1 into t divided by the coefficient of t, that is m square minus 1. 1 by the linear expression is log mod linear expression divided by the coefficient of the variable. Now we substitute the upper limit and lower limit as 1 and 0. So we get this as half times substituting the upper limit, we get log of 1 plus m square minus 1 into 1. So 1 plus m square minus 1 by m square minus 1 minus log of, if we put this as 0, we get log 1 by m square minus 1. So we get this as half into minus 1 plus 1 gets cancelled, log of m square divided by m square minus 1 minus 0, because log 1 is 0. So this is half into log m square can be written as 2 log m by m square minus 1. So 2 gets cancelled and we get the result as log m divided by m square minus 1. So the right option is log m by m square minus 1, that is option A. Option A. Question number 20, integral minus 1 to 2 modulus of x dx is equal to. We know that modulus of x changes its definition at 0. So this can be written as modulus of minus 1 to 0, modulus of x is minus x dx plus 1 0 to 2, modulus of x becomes x dx. So we can simplify this by writing it as minus x square by 2, putting the limits 0 and minus 1, and integral of x is x square by 2 and putting the limits as 2 and 0. So we evaluate this, minus 0 by 2 is 0, minus, on substituting minus here we get minus of minus 1 whole square is 1 by 2, plus on substituting 2 we get 2 square is 4 by 2 is 2 minus 0. So we get this as half plus 2, that is equal to 5 by 2. So option D is the correct choice. Option D is the correct choice. So with this we are done with the MCQs of the chapter integrals. Thank you so much.